what a day. Elizabeth Gillis here, certified practitioner of the BODYTALK healthcare system. I work with people one-on-one in my clinic, online, but I'm also trained to work with people in working with people in groups. So some of you may already be familiar with BODYTALK, and maybe for some of you this whole concept is brand new. So if you haven't heard about it or if you don't know much about it, welcome. BODYTALK is a form of natural health care. It's based heavily on Chinese medicine, and it also brings in the facts and findings from Western medicine, Ayurveda, and a whole bunch of other wonderful methods from around the world. So BODYTALK can transform physical health, emotional health, mental health, spiritual health, and it's also great for personal growth and development. It does this all without medications, without supplements or anything invasive. It uses, believe it or not, just gentle techniques and focus on part of the practitioner. So you don't have to believe in this in order for it to work. It's going to work regardless of whether you do or not. It's just a different form of healthcare than what many of you may be used to experiencing. So in BODYTALK, we reveal as practitioners what is called formulas. And at the end, we do a tap out. So there are many cultures, ancient Hatha yoga, that use a tapping technique. Some of you may be familiar with EFT. In BODYTALK, at the end of every formula, when it's time to actually upload it into the body, we do tapping over the head brain, the heart brain, and over the navel area representing the enteric brain. So the changes that occur in BODYTALK are based on quantum physics and mathematics and of probabilities and possibilities, and then it has a trickle-down effect affecting the body chemistry, the mental body, as well as the physical body. So to give you a little bit of a background on the tapping over the three brains and why we do it, is the tapping over the head brain, is similar to someone coming around and tapping on your shoulder to get your attention. We're revealing all of these formulas and all of these changes that we want to take place. Then we have to get the head brain's attention to actually do all the changes that we're asking for. So the head brain isn't really a thinky brain. It is more about running programs. It's like the CPU processor of your computer, but it processes and delivers programs for the body instead. So we tap over the heart to store the changes. That's similar to hitting the save button on your computer. And the heart brain is also responsible for analyzing and pondering. And the gut brain, its role is in discernment, making decisions, right or wrong, about what needs to be done. So activating all three brains is going to get the formula as deep into your system and lock it in place and get things changing exactly the way that it's supposed to. So if you have any questions for me after the session, feel free to reach out to me. You can email me. You can contact me through my website, which is www.regainhealthnh.com. I'm currently only working online for obvious reasons. My clinic is probably collecting dust right now, or will be by the time we're able to get back into working with people one-on-one. So it's a great way to work with people. At least I still am able to do that. Some people cannot work at this time at all, so I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. And remote sessions are equally as effective, if not for some people more effective than doing BODYTALK in person. So if you are interested in learning a little bit more about that, just like we can hone in through our GPSs and type in specific coordinates to give us instructions on how to get somewhere in particular, we can hone into the coordinates of an individual and work with them remotely. Just the same way that a radio frequency shows up, somehow gets from the air to your radio, we can do the same thing as practitioners. So, and it is the only way that I get BODYTALK sessions, because there really isn't anybody within a reasonable driving distance for me to get one-on-one in-person sessions. So I could go to maybe southern Maine, Vermont, Rhode Island, and other than that, I think New York is the next closest place. So we're going to proceed on into the actual session. I'm going to ask you to just take a moment to get comfortable, either find a nice comfortable spot to sit in or recline, where you can really relax and enjoy the session. I'd like to ask you to do a quick assessment of what's going on and check in on how you're feeling. Is there any discomfort that you may notice? Any aches or pains or things that are coming to your attention? What are your current stress levels like? What is your emotional state currently? Are you fearful, anxious, stressed? So let's jump into the session. So the first thing that we are addressing is Wei Qi and the protective factors of Wei Qi. So we are strengthening, essentially Wei Qi is like your Teflon coating, and it protects you from your environment. It protects you from pathogens. In this case, we are addressing things such as pathogens, viruses, bacteria that is in your environment. So we're strengthening that natural Teflon coating and your protective layer to protect you from those types of things in your environment. And we kind of have a little bit of a theme with this Wei Qi that we are addressing right now. We're linking that, so we are in BODYTALK doing links. So we're creating this formula. I'm muscle testing on myself, applied kinesiology, biofeedback. Those are all basically names for the same thing. And so we're linking that to Wei Qi and emotions in our environment of fear, anger, rage, all of these emotions that we're exposed to in our environment during this COVID-19 situation. And we're also balancing environmental stressors. So factors such as TVs, radio, social media, news media, in general, all these different places that we're getting information from that is almost overloading our system with all of this information on a daily basis of the coronavirus. So it is playing head games with us, and it's having an impact on our nervous system. So we're also addressing the qualities. So Chinese medicine addresses organs, endocrines, body parts as having different qualities as well. And in this case, we are addressing the qualities of the heart representing optimism. And we're linking that and connecting that into the qualities of vitality that the lungs represent. We're also addressing pathological consciousness of the eyes. So we're addressing avoidance. So pathological consciousness is a belief system or a filtering system that was put in place as a coping mechanism at what point. But it's gone to the point where it's a little over the top and is almost destructive in nature. So we want to balance ourselves out to that so that it's a healthier balance. And this has to do with the constant stimulation that we're experiencing in our environment. So we are balancing our sense of sight, both physical and subtle, our ability to see the truth, as well as our sense of hearing, both on a physical and a subtle level. So actually being able to hear the words that are being said rather than just picking out a few words and then kind of filling in the blanks to make it our own version. So actually hearing the truth as it's being said and not through any of these filters, and also adjusting the way that we are hearing our own thoughts within our heads. After that, we are addressing a belief system, subconscious belief system. For some of you, it may be on a conscious level. We are addressing the belief system that there is no end in sight. And we are bringing in past events in our childhood in which we were told XYZ was going to happen at a specific time. And then it just kept getting pushed out, pushed out, pushed out. Are we going to go to the park? Yes, maybe later, maybe later, maybe later. Oh, tomorrow, maybe next week. And it getting pushed out. So addressing emotions of disappointment, frustration, unreliability. And we're seeing this with the current situation, because even our president, if you're in the United States, he keeps pushing out when this is all going to be over. Initially we were all going to be back to normal by Easter, and now it's the end of the month. And then we have the people who are saying that it could be even longer than that, maybe even into June is what some are predicting. So we're balancing body chemistry as well, and we are adjusting general body chemistry, in which our brain is given an opportunity to take a snapshot of what is going on in our bodies currently. And it can launch a specific response to that to destroy pathogens or invaders that don't belong, to stimulate the immune system against things that we might be coming in contact with that haven't actually invaded our immune system yet. So it's a way to get our bodies to better respond to unfavorable conditions in our bodies, or potential unfavorable conditions. So similar to how a mother who breastfeeds her babies, the milk can change based on the baby's needs, we can have the body take a look at what's going on chemically at this very moment, and then launch whatever appropriate response the body is able to do for that. So I'm going to ask you to do something really, really strange. I'm going to have you take your finger, or you can take a Q-tip. I don't happen to have one on me right now, and I've been in quarantine, so I think I'm pretty much safe. And you're just going to kind of push that onto your navel. You could take a Q-tip, a tissue, whatever you have handy to kind of get a little saliva sample out of your mouth, and just pop that into the navel, so that for you, your brain, as I'm doing this tap out at the end, can actually truly focus on what's going on chemically for you. So in addition to that, we are addressing hydration of the hippocampus. So the hippocampus plays a critical role in the formation and organization and storage of all new memories. It helps to connect sensations and emotions to these memories, and we're linking that to a permission of it is okay. Hydration of the prefrontal cortex is what we're addressing next. The prefrontal cortex plays a role in the organization and behavior of cognitive abilities. And then we're linking that, so we kind of have this body chemistry run of general body hydration. And we are allowing the water that you do drink to better get used up by the body. So the body, we have the cell membrane, and we want to make sure that the water can carry nutrients into the cell so that it's not restricted. It allows the water to actually permeate into the cell, so nutrients can get in and toxins can be released. Very, very important to have optimized hydration when things are kind of crazy around us, and we want to make sure that our immune system is functioning as efficiently as possible, because no body function can occur without proper hydration. And then we're addressing and releasing a lot of angst that's going on. So the tapping, I'm going to talk you through, and we're going to start off by nice slow deep breaths. You're going to take one hand, whatever hand you choose, and you're going to gently tap over the top of the head, covering both hemispheres of the brain. So if you can imagine that your head is divided by a center line, making sure that you are tapping over both sides. Nice full deep breaths, then tapping over the heart and over the belly. Just do one more round of that. All right, next we are going into astrology, and we're giving a little bit of a theme to the next formula that we're revealing. And we are in house 12 in astrology, so everything goes through 12 phases. We have 12 months in our calendar, and the 12th phase is the last phase, and it is the 12th house signifies the end of the life cycle. So it allows us to destroy false identities. This is a cycle for self-reflection, drawing on inner strength, and also allowing for feelings of tranquility. We're bringing in the qualities of the liver and its role in endurance and having patience. Also in the liver, we're bringing in the aspects of it as a digestive organ and the Western medicine job that it has to do for detoxification. And we're both doing physical detoxification and emotional detoxification. And we're also bringing in the aspects of the liver and its ability for transformation. Continuing on in the liver theme, we have a balance of the Chinese clock. So the Chinese clock, liver time is 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. So if you find yourself waking up regularly during that time, it could be because there is an imbalance regarding your liver and your liver meridian. So this is the time when we should be sleeping. So toxins are released from the body and fresh new blood is made. So with this balance, we're helping the liver in its detoxification process. So it seems to have a little bit of a stagnation. And from 1 to 2 a.m. it seems to be okay, but it seems to have some stagnation continuing that through all the way to the end of liver time, which is 3 a.m. So it is helping also to release anger and frustration during this time period. And we have environmental factors that are contributing to this of people who aren't getting it. They're not understanding the magnitude of what we're dealing with not self-quarantining the way that they are. They're going out and about. The young college kids in Florida on spring break is an example. And they're going about their life as if there isn't an epidemic, right? So that makes a lot of people angry and very frustrated. So we're closing out that House 12 theme. We're now moving on to doing a cellular repair of the heart cardiomyocytes. Forgive me if I did not pronounce that correctly. I'm not a medical student, so I probably totally botched that. So I apologize for that. But it makes up the chambers in which the blood enters the heart. And we are bringing in a story of events in which we ourselves have experienced heartbreak, heartache and heartbreak. And that's linking to the immune system and specifically the role of the respiratory system in the immune system and the cilia, those little hairs that help clear or keep the mucus and dirt out of the lungs, allowing us to breathe easy. And we're also bringing in the role that it has in non-specific defense and filtering. We're going to tap that one out. Nice slow deep breaths. Tapping over the top of the head, nice and gentle. Tapping over the heart. And tapping over the belly. Now we are moving on to doing some balance of some minor chakras, and we are addressing specifically strengthening the natural consciousness of the shoulders. So the chakras of the shoulders. And a healthy person, responsibility relates to the ability to sum up any life situation and take practical steps to respond appropriately and make those adjustments necessary. So having the shoulder chakras well balanced allows us to deal with the issues of life in a constructive way rather than feeling that those are a burden or that it's too much for us to handle. But we are linking that to the pathological consciousness of the shoulder chakras, in which we are addressing beliefs around feeling of restriction. And we're balancing that all and linking that into the heart chakra. We're also bringing in the elements of the earth element and the yang activity of the conscious mind and conscious thinking. And we're balancing that to the yin activity so that the two extremes are balancing each other out, which rules the subconscious mind and the intuitive process. And we are bringing in environmental stressors of the environment of too much thinking and too much worry being around us. We're going to tap that one out. Nice slow deep breaths. Tapping over the top of the head. Tapping over the heart. And tapping over the belly. So right now, that is the conclusion of this Body Talk session. So what I'd like for you to do now is reassess compared to how you were when we first started or before we started. So do a check-in. Are there any areas of your body that you are noticing discomfort? Is there a reduction of pain, discomfort in some areas that you may have had some pain or discomfort before we started? Is there new pain or new things that are being identified now that you weren't feeling and didn't experience before? What are your stress levels like right now? How's your emotional state currently? Do you feel more relaxed, less stressful, less anxious, less scared? So feel free to stay relaxing for as long as you want. Let this session just really kind of absorb in. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can jump on my website, contact me that way. Also, if you are interested in working with me one-on-one, I am having a social distancing special going on right now for another month, in which you can work with me one-on-one at a really, really significant savings compared to my regular prices. So the prices are $75 per session. Normally that's $120. So I'm definitely offering a significant savings if any of you are interested in that. So thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, I hope you enjoyed the session. Please let me know. Have a great day. Have a great week. And I hope that this has been of help to you, and feel free to share it with anyone else that you might feel would benefit. Thank you so much.